My tripod and I today are literally having a battle, and it is so annoying. Let's see if I can get that to work. I feel like I'm just really crooked now. Okay. I just have a couple minutes to be with you guys today before I have to hop onto a long day of calls with clients and all of that good stuff. But last night I had a conversation with a friend who I haven't talked with in a while, and she lives across the country, so don't get to see her very often, but really good friend. And we were talking, and I was like, well, how's everything going, blah, blah, blah. And, conversation ended up with her telling me that she has been trying some new things with her diet, and she has been trying to lose weight and feel better and all of that stuff. I was like, oh, okay, what have you been doing? And she told me that she's been doing this thing called intermittent fasting. I was like, oh no, I know what this thing called intermittent fasting is. Which is funny. We cracked up about that. She's like, have you heard of this thing called intermittent fasting? It's like, do you know who I am? Like, of course. And I did it for many years, and I have my thoughts to say about that. But I was like, how's it going for you? Just generally curious, like, how is this process going for you? And she's like, well, it's been sort of hard. Like, I find that I don't have as much concentration in the morning. I feel like I'm just sort of thinking about when is my like meal time, when am I going to be able to break my fast. She's been finding that she's a lot more irritable and everything in the morning. It's a lot harder for her to get going. So she used to get up and work out in the morning, but she's like, I don't really have the energy anymore for that. And so she's been sleeping in a little bit later, and her mornings just have been a lot more slow, and she hasn't been able to go and like work out. And she said that she's been feeling a lot of sort of just digestive discomfort every time she has lunch. She feels like her stomach just sort of like shrinks and then like hates her after like fasting all morning, and then she goes to eat like a good lunch, and um, it's just really hard for her to get down a decent portion of food. Mind you, this is someone who has absolutely zero zip, not a background of disordered eating or eating disorders or any of that. This is someone who just, wants to lose some weight and has been hearing about this thing called intermittent fasting, which I don't want to say guarantees, but really suggests that this is a great way to lose weight is by just skipping your breakfast. So she was explaining that she was experiencing all this stuff. Oh, and then migraines. Migraines is like a big one. She said that she's been having a lot of migraines lately. But, and this is what's so interesting and so funny, at the same time she's like telling me all of this, she was also saying, but this diet is supposed to be really good for this. But the science says that the intermittent fasting is going to help me lose weight. But the science says this and this and this and that, and it's better for longevity, and it's better for my insulin levels, and blah, 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 blah. So it's like she's saying all these things that are negative about how she's feeling, but then she goes, but that's okay because the science says I'm going to live longer and have a faster metabolism and burn more fat. And I finally was just like, honey, this diet is not working for you. And it's funny because she was a little bit like taken aback, and she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, look, like you have explained that you were experiencing all of these things. So I don't care what the science says. It's obviously not working for you, for your body. The science can go and say, if you intermittent fast, you're going to live to 150 years old. You're going to boost your metabolism. You're going to increase the elasticity of your skin. I don't care what the science says. If you do it and it makes you feel bad, it's obviously not good. Why are you doing it? And this is just such a great example at how we get really hooked onto the scientific facts out there. All of this research and stuff going on with nutrition, which is, it's really hard to come out with a nutritional study that is actually really good, guys. Like, it is very, 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 very hard. Because there's so many different factors in that. So you're trying to figure out, like, what is the relationship between saturated fat and diabetes or something. And you'll take a control group of people, and you usually will have them do self-reporting on, like, what they ate and then just, like, how they feel. But that's not taking into account their lifestyle, their stress at work, the other foods that they're eating, their past history, the culture they come from, their genetic background, you know, all of that. Like, that's not taking into account any of that stuff. So it's really hard to like really just pinpoint saturated fat and diabetes. Very, very hard. But anyways, this is a whole nother video just discussing sort of the fallacy in a lot of these nutritional studies out there. But we like to just hold on to the idea that the doctors, the science, the research knows better than our body. And I can just tell you, after 11 years of being highly orthorexic and reading, I think, every single diet book that exists to humankind and trying all of those diets, that nothing's better than just listening to your body. My digestive system issues, my hormonal issues, my sleep issues, I was having a lot of eye issues, like my brain fog, like all of these things, they went away once I just started eating intuitively. And I stopped listening to all of this science and research and things like that telling me that I should do this one diet. I should be keto. I should be raw vegan. I should be paleo. I should be this. I should be that. You know what I should be? I should be what makes me healthy. And you know what makes me healthy? Not intermittent fasting. That landed me in amenorrhea for many, many years. It's not going gluten-free. I went gluten-free for like, it was almost like, oh, so stupid. But it was probably like a good solid 7 years that I was gluten-free. Am I gluten intolerant? No, absolutely not. I eat gluten and wheat every single day, pretty much. I always have bread. I absolutely love bread, and I have zero issues. If anything, I feel 1,000 times better eating gluten. And so I really found this health, and many of my clients find their health when they finally stop listening to what everyone says they should be doing. And they start just listening to what works well for them, because we're all so different. And throughout our different stages of life, we will be different. So there's times in my life where I'm like obsessed with milk and I drink gallons and gallons of it and I love it. And then there's times where I just do not touch milk at all. Is milk good or bad? No, I'm not going to go out and villainize milk. But there are times in my life where milk is really good, and there are times in my life where just milk is not that interesting and it's just not that beneficial for me. So I listen to my body and I adapt to that. And by me adapting to that, I am finding my true health. So this also reminded me when I was listening to my friend last night, and her being so just like, but the research says, and like, but this is supposed to be good for me, even though her health is like totally plummeting. It reminded me of when I did the Purium cleanse. If you guys didn't know, I used to sell the Purium products. Purium is an MLM company. Yeah, I have my thoughts on that too. But I was super into this MLM company. It's sort of like Arborn, if you're familiar with that, but this is a different brand. They're all so similar. But this is like an all vegan brand. It's all the superfoods, the chlorella, the wheatgrass, the barley, all of that. They have their 40-day cleanse. They have their 10-day extreme cleanse that is like less than 600 calories a day. It is very intense. And I was going through the 10-day cleanse, and you have to take all of these laxatives. So you're taking the Cleansar like 3 times a day. And basically what it is just senna, and it is just like making you go to the bathroom. And then you're doing their shakes like 3 times a day, and then hardly eating anything, like eating some cucumbers if you're starved, and that's like it. And then taking these like super amino tablets, which is it's like a vegan sort of, you know, protein tablet. Anyways, I remember being like 4 days in, and I was like peeing all day. Like literally every 2 seconds I had to pee. And I started having these like heart palpitations, and I was like crapping my pants like every 2 seconds. And I was just feeling so out of it. And so I called their support line, and I told them, I was like, listen, like, should I just eat food? Should I not? Like, what should I do? Like, I'm feeling so dizzy. I feel like my heart is just like racing. I feel so thirsty, even though I was peeing so much. Like, it's so weird. I had like dry mouth. There were so many things going on. Like, my body was just completely whacked out. And here was calling the support line for this like customer service representative, and I was like, what do I do? Like, help me, I feel like I'm dying on your 10-day cleanse. They're like, it's fine, most people feel this way. I'm like, most people feel this way? Like, oh my gosh, looking back at this now, I'm like, Chloe, how did you? But like, it's okay. A lot of people, you know, the senna can be very intense. You can scale back a little bit if you want. Peeing is a, you know, normal sign, feeling a little dizzy and all of that. And they pretty much were like, continue doing the cleanse. The cleanse is safe. The cleanse is fine. Just, yeah, maybe take it easy in the laxatives a little bit. And here I am, like, listening to that. I was almost like dying, I swear. I'm like, I weighed hardly anything at that point in my life. I had not consumed anything in like 4 days, like hardly anything. I was supposed to do this for another 6 days, which I ended up doing, which is crazy. And I was feeling so sick and so out of it, but yet these people are being like, no, this is healthy, this is good, this is the detox. I remember him telling me that, like, this is the detox symptoms that you're experiencing. This is good, you're cleansing out your body. And so I'm thinking like, oh, okay, this is good. Like, I'm cleansing out my body, getting rid of all these toxins and everything. This is why I feel so lightheaded. This is why I feel like my heart racing. This is why I feel so cold. This is like, there were so many things going on, but I chalked it up to the detox symptoms because that's what this person was telling me. Like, this is all just detox. And so I listened to that, and I had severe health consequences from that. It took me months to finally get my digestive system on track after this like 10-day cleanse. Like, anything and everything, even things that never hurt my stomach before, really, really hurt. And I was completely messed up from it. And it just, it kills me to think that I just was so entrenched in this idea of someone else knows what's better for my body. So I'm just going to listen to them despite the fact that I'm feeling so bad. And I see this online all the time, guys. Like, it's just the keto flu, it's fine. Or, yeah, the whole, like, you're just detoxing, you're cleansing, this is good, you're getting it out of your system. Like, we normalize feeling crappy for this ideology of the perfect diet. And it's like, if something is making you feel crappy, I'm sorry, it's not healthy. It's not. You should feel good on the food that you're eating. Your diet should promote hormonal balance, good digestion, great sleep, thick hair, all of this stuff. Like, your diet should be promoting health, and it shouldn't be destroying it in hopes that it will in the future promote it. It's really backwards, but I see this all the time. So, to just wrap up this video here, who knows best? You do. Ultimately, you do. I think we get so confused by we have to read all these different books about how to eat, and it's like, just listen to your body. I think you really do know how to eat. We get stuck in here confusing the heck out of ourselves about what it is we should be eating. When in reality, if we just ate and then listened to our body and figured out what works well, that's going to be what leads us to health. Now, I do have to say, caveat here, you can't really listen to your body when you're stuck in your eating disorder. Nope, when you are stuck in your eating disorder, your signals, your hunger signals, your appetite, your digestion, everything is off. So I'm talking about once you get to a healthy weight, a healthy place where you've restored your body a lot, then we can start listening to our body and determine like what is good for us and what do we feel like and all of that. But I just wanted to clarify that because when you're stuck in that eating disorder phase, like green juice and a raw kale salad is what's always going to sound appealing to you, right? And you're always going to complain that like the French fries are making you bloated for days. And it's like, okay, we first have to address the eating disorder, get you out of that. Once you're at that healthy stage and mentally and physically, then this is when we start working with the body and doing more of that intuitive eating. So that's just a really big caveat, and I want to make that clear. But that recovery process should be you eating anything and everything. And that's also another whole issue that I have is when people try to recover from their eating disorder while being keto, while being vegan, while being on the like South Beach diet. I don't care. They pick like a diet, and so yeah, sure, they gain weight and they're eating more food, but they're still just They're not allowing any and all foods, and that is a part of the healing process, guys. If you want to neurally rewire your brain from being obsessed and fearful about food, you have to just start eating all these foods. So that means eating the dang french fries. That means having the chocolate croissant. That means eating the meat, eating the cheese, eating the pizza. And that means choosing all these foods that you've been restricting yourself from so that you can heal from your eating disorder. Once you go through that phase of eating any and all foods, then we can start working with the body, right? But you gotta mentally rewire all this weird, crazy things that you have with food so that you can come to a nice balanced place of understanding this is what works for me, this is what makes me feel good, and all of that. But until you do that, you let go, this is always going to be, your thoughts and feelings are always going to be dictated by the eating disorder. So that's it for this video. This is already getting a little bit long and I gotta go because I have a client now, but I hope that this was helpful. If you are interested in recovery coaching, I help people through orthorexia, through restrictive eating disorders, going through quasi recovery, getting their period back. If you are sick of feeling sick and sick of just being completely ruled by your mind, definitely reach out. This is what we do in coaching, is I help you find this food freedom and I help you find balance for you. So you can reach me at contact.flowwithchloe@gmail.com. I am taking some new clients right now. I have a couple spots open and I would love to talk with you and discuss if recovery coaching is right for you and for where you are at. So that is all. Please like this video, please subscribe and share it to anyone you know who may need this information. All right, bye guys.